It's the Mustang Insider Show.
What's going on, Cal Poly fans? This is another edition of the Mustang Insider. I'm Chris Sylvester. We'll be chatting with Cal Poly women's basketball senior guard Maddie Willett, who connected on her 100 and 101st career three-point field goals earlier this week in the Mustangs' thrilling buzzer-beating win over UC Riverside at home. Hey, they've been a lot of fun to watch under the first-year head coach Chanel Stiers. If you haven't had a chance to make it out to Maddie Athletic Center and support the Cal Poly women's basketball Mustangs, I highly encourage you to do so. A lot of games left on the regular season schedule before the month of March and the conference tournament rolls around. Now, before we chat with Maddie and dive into the Cal Poly women's basketball season, as always, we'd like to remind you that the Mustang Insider Podcast is sponsored by Dignity Health, offering all-star treatment you can trust. Learn more about their healthcare services. Visit dignityhealth.org/Central Coast. And Grocery Outlet, conveniently located on Madonna right here in San Luis Obispo. They've got sizzling fajitas, hearty beef sliders, bite-sized mini taco cups, and a mouth-watering Southwest chicken bowl. Mustang fans, you won't want to miss these dishes in the Grocery Outlet Mustang Tailgater recipe book. Get all your fresh ingredients at Grocery Outlet's San Luis Obispo store on Madonna and feast on these yummy tailgating favorites before a game or at home. You could download the Mustang Tailgater booklet today on gopoly.com/publications. All right, now joined by Maddie Willett, senior 5'11 guard from Gig Harbor up in Washington. Maddie, thanks for taking some time to chat with us. How much fun was it on Monday night inside Maddie Athletic Center when you guys draw up that play, tied at 47, 2 seconds left. It's a sideline out of bounds right next to the Mustang bench, and Sydney tosses it into Annika. Beautiful touch pass to Umu Torre. I didn't think that a couple different girls would be able to touch it and then get off a shot in time with 2 seconds left, but clearly Chanel Stiers and her coaching staff know what they're doing. Take me through those moments with you on the floor and in that last timeout before the buzzer beater, if you could.
Yeah, so it was super exciting. Coach drew up the play, and we executed it almost to perfection because we scored. I was just supposed to set a screen, and Sid was supposed to throw a really good pass, and Ani caught the ball and saw Umu wide open and hit her, and I was a little nervous that it wasn't going to happen within 2 seconds, like when I saw it unfolding, but I was so happy for Umu that she got it off and made it, and it was so exciting, and I'm so proud of everyone. And Sid, that pass, I think it's really stressful sometimes to be throwing the inbound pass in a situation like that, but she
Right.
threw a perfect pass to Ani, and then Ani got it to Umu, and it ended perfectly.
That ended perfectly, exactly. 49-47. That was a big win for you guys, especially in this rare week where you're going to play 3 games in, a handful of days. I mean, you're going down to UC San Diego next on Thursday, and then you got less than 48 hours for another home game against the UC Davis program that I know you're very familiar with from all your time here at Cal Poly. That situation on Monday night against Riverside, you guys have been in a lot of close basketball games this year. I mean, I think back to the Fresno State game where Annika Shaw hit the game winner, the overtime game against Northern Arizona where you guys had some opportunities late, and then the Hawaii game on New Year's Eve. I mean, that was kind of anybody's game. You guys had the ball down just a possession late in that game. So how much did those experiences from those close games early in the season kind of help you guys execute and have the right mindset and not, be too anxious or too nervous in that moment last night?
Yeah, I think experiences with those types of games is really helpful to prepare and just calm the nerves a little bit because you've been in the position. And while a lot of the games didn't go our way, that we know how to hold ourselves in those situations and to just be focused on what coach is drawing up and being able to execute it. Sometimes execution doesn't go as planned in situations like that. So last night to be able to execute exactly what she said was just awesome. And I think we held our composure. We were poised, especially with just 2 seconds left. That's a very nerve-wracking situation. So I applaud everyone for being so poised and just allowing themselves to play basketball without fear of messing up in that situation.
Maddie Willett of the Cal Poly women's basketball team, our guest here on Mustang Insider. Now, you've been here quite a while, or at least it probably feels like it at this point. You
Yes.
played 2 seasons pre-COVID, and obviously the last few, it kind of finally feels like this season's a little more normal. I know you guys went through a lot there in December with a couple of canceled games, but in all regards, with the past 2 seasons, this one definitely feels a lot more regular, probably much like your freshman year and your redshirt year, 18, 19, 19, 20. So you were a Big West all freshman team selection back in that 2018, 2019 campaign. But before that, you were up in Gig Harbor, Washington. You went to Gig Harbor High School. When did Cal Poly first get in touch with you about coming down here and playing college hoops? And at what point in your high school career did you start to figure out that, hey, maybe I could play this game at the next level and even get a scholarship to go play college basketball somewhere?
So actually I applied to Cal Poly. I was like looking at just like really good educational schools and thinking about playing basketball at the same time. So I applied to a few schools, not thinking about playing basketball, and Cal Poly was one of those. And I got in, and then I think that was like March that I emailed Coach Faith, and then she called me the same day, and we set up a visit. And she offered me a scholarship, I think in end of March or beginning of April. So it happened all really fast and really late, for a typical senior in high school. So, but it was just a dream come true because I wanted to come to this school specifically for architectural engineering. I ended up switching majors, but it was cool to be able to get into the school and then like email the coach, show her my film, and then have her offer me a scholarship like a week later. So it was like a dream come true. Very unexpected, very different from how most seniors get an offer from a school. So it's different, unique.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's worked out pretty well for you here. We mentioned your honor of getting over 100 made threes in your career and a chance to add a lot more to it before we close out this 2022-2023 season. Now, growing up playing basketball, were there players or a player that you kind of looked up to try to emulate your game after?
So actually, I was probably this height in middle school. So I was a post. Middle school, high school is when I started to transition to a guard, but for my high school team, I still had to play post. So I really looked up to Brittany Griner actually when I was younger, and just her athleticism, rebounding. And then I also started to like Russell Westbrook in high school when he was playing for OKC and he was at PG. And just like the two mixtures, as I was transitioning from post to guard, being able to be a playmaker, and Russell Westbrook's really good at coming off ball screens and pull up jumpers, and that's like one of my favorite things to do. So those are the two people I try to model my game after the most.
Now, do you folks up in the Pacific Northwest? I know you got the Blazers not far from you in Portland, but for years you had the Seattle Supersonics, and I personally think Seattle deserves an NBA team. I mean, they've got MLB, NFL, NHL now in the
Yeah.
last few years with the inception of the Kraken. So, do folks like yourself up in the Pacific Northwest, do you guys pull for Oklahoma City because that used to be the Sonics, or does that
Mm,
Russell Westbrook correlation not really play into that?
it doesn't play into that, and I think most Seattle people don't really like OKC because they were stolen from us. But yeah, I hope we get the Sonics again in the next like 5 years. I heard it might be happening, but they always say that. So
Well,
yeah,
you
so
do.
Russell Westbrook was just I just saw him play once and I really liked it. And
Well, you do have a WNBA team up there in Seattle, and obviously they've been very successful the last decade. Maddie Willett, our guest of the Cal Poly women's basketball team. I mean, you look back, and I know you guys have so many aspirations for this season. I feel like you guys are just getting a little bit healthier and starting to play much better here as we get into the middle portion of the conference schedule. And I think in a league like this, I mean, you saw Long Beach, you saw Hawaii, pretty much anybody is beatable on any given night in this league. And as you guys saw, and it's so unfortunate what happened in 2020 because you knew you guys were going to win that tournament. I mean, there was no question. I know you had to sit out that year, but I don't think there was any doubt that Cal Poly was going to keep on winning there in 2020 before the shutdown. But when you look back at this journey, I mean, it's been a long tenure for you here at Cal Poly from getting here in 2018. Here we are, almost 5 years later in 2023. How much has your role changed as a teammate and as a basketball player? Because when you got here, you had some older players, some juniors, some seniors to lean on who had been here for a while. But as you've progressed in your Cal Poly career, the transfer portal's become a thing. You've got a new head coach, and now you're one of the veterans on this team. So take me through your journey here at Cal Poly and how much different of a role you're playing right now compared to where you were when you got here in 2018.
Mhm. So I feel like it's all happened very fast. I feel like it's just yesterday that I was a freshman in college. And when I was a freshman, I was actually thrown into it, and I did get the opportunity to play a lot and learn, especially under Dice Daly. I looked up to her a lot, and she was a really good leader for our team. So when she left, she became our grad assistant, but that was the year that I redshirted for my hip surgery. But just like being able to watch from the sideline that year, I learned so much that I wouldn't have learned. Well, I would have learned playing, but it was just a different point of view and perspective to watch from the sideline and be able to take in all the information that I would not necessarily have gotten to take in playing on the court. So that really helped. And then as I went into the next year, I think technically my sophomore year for basketball is the COVID year. That was a good opportunity to just play a basketball again, feel myself again, get more confident in myself since I had been out for so long. And then this year, I'm more in a leadership role because I am older. It's not my natural tendency to be a vocal leader, so I'm really working on that. I prefer to lead by example, but I'm really working on leading by voice and just being an example for the younger kids to look up at, and then sharing my wise words because I do have a lot of experience and I've been playing in this league for, I mean, this is my, I guess, 5th year. So I do have a lot of knowledge and experience with these teams. They have the same coaches, run the same exact plays that they have this whole time. So I just have a little bit more knowledge than people that I need to share upon. So that's what I'm working on now.
In regards to Chanel Stiers and her staff, and it just seems like the culture that she's building here at Cal Poly is so contagious to all of her assistant coaches and all of you guys as teammates. I mean, you see it at the end of games, whether you guys are winning or losing. I think that somebody drew a charge with like 90 seconds left against Long Beach, and you guys weren't going to win that game. It was a lopsided score at the time, but that just kind of embodies the type of effort and hustle that she's brought to this program. Now, being able to have those terrific moments like Annika's game winner in Fresno and Umu's buzzer beater earlier this week against UC Riverside, those are great. But what else behind the scenes has Coach Stiers and company done for this group to kind of help them make the improvements off some of the games that you guys didn't have go your way last season, because you guys already have more wins than you did all of last season, and obviously you guys have been much more competitive in just about every game?
Mhm. Well, one of the biggest things is our defense. I think our defense has been pretty good most every game. So now we're working on our offensive flow and, scoring the basketball. And we work on offense a ton, and we're going game speed the entire time. Shoot around, we're going game speed. And we do work on end of game situations, like if we're in a situation such as yesterday. So I think that's really helped us just be prepared for the game and feel comfortable running all these different types of things and knowing how we're trying to score, who we're trying to get the ball to, and what we want to happen with the play. And so I think that's really helped us feel more calm and confident in ourselves.
Maddie Willett, our guest, Cal Poly women's basketball. Now, you hit career three-pointer number 100, and then shortly after 101 before all the late game drama against UC Riverside earlier this week. Does that really kind of hit close to home when you heard? I mean, obviously you knew you were coming up on the milestone, but how much of a big deal is that, do you think, for you, 20, 30 years from now, when you look back at your college playing career and have, a milestone that's a pretty big deal? I mean, not everybody in their college career hits 100 3-pointers, and chances are you're going to hit quite a few more before it's all said and done.
Yeah, I feel very proud of myself, and it's just shown, like, that all the hard work has paid off. I had struggled, like, in the past years with confidence in shooting and stuff, so I think it was just really cool to see that, like, I could do it, I did do it, and that all my hard work did pay off.
Now, coming up, you've got the 2 more games on the schedule this week before you head down south and play at Long Beach and Cal State Fullerton to wrap the month of January. As you look at what's coming up next, 4 games left in January, a jam-packed February, then a couple regular season games in March before you get out to Las Vegas and try and make some history. What does this team need to get better at between now and the conference tournament to feel really good about things in regards to winning a championship?
For sure, offensive execution, and we did better against UC Riverside with turnovers, but turnovers has been a huge problem for our last few games. So I think just offensive execution that involves turnovers, and then we have been really focusing on winning the rebounding game. So I think if we can tighten up our offense, feel more of in a flow, be more confident in the shots that we're taking, and just converting on those shots, we're going to do a lot better versus these next few teams.
Now, you mentioned that you switched majors after you got to Cal Poly. If the website's correct, you're a mathematics major. Is that right?
Yeah, I graduated in last June 2022 with my applied math bachelor's and a stat minor. And now I'm in the master's for business analytics program, which is kind of like data analytics and data science. So a good mixture of some math and then stats and business.
So as you look to the future, what's next for Maddie Willett? I mean, I'm trying to do the math in my head, and I don't know if I can with your natural redshirt year and then your COVID redshirt year. Is this your final college season, or are you looking to play another one, or what does the future beyond March of 2023 look like for you?
So I'll be graduating with my master's in June of 2023, and as of now, I'm not planning on using my 6th year just because I have been injured basically every single year after every season. So I don't think it's the smartest decision for my body. But if my body was in a different place, I would definitely be playing my 6th year because I love it and I don't want to step away from it. But yeah, I'm probably going to be looking for a job once this season is done and either moving back to Seattle or maybe moving somewhere else in California.
Well, that's Maddie Willett of the Cal Poly women's basketball team. Hey, congrats on 100 and 101 career trays. Here's to many more, and good luck the rest of the week. We'll see you back here on Saturday against UC Davis. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, good stuff from Maddie Willett of the Cal Poly women's basketball team. Next chance for you guys to catch them. It'll be Saturday, 4 p.m. UC Davis comes to town inside the friendly confines of Mott Athletic Center. Again, this podcast made possible by Grocery Outlet San Luis Obispo on Madonna. Download the Mustang Tailgater recipe book at gopoly.com. And, of course, Dignity Health Central Coast, providing healthcare services to the Central Coast. Now for all our crew here on Mustang Insider, my name's Chris Sylvester saying, see you next time.
This has been the Mustang Insider Show. The preceding has been a Learfield's presentation on the Cal Poly Sports Network.